There's a difference between looking wealthy and actually being wealthy. When you look wealthy, listen, you got the car, you taking the trips, you living that lavish lifestyle, right? You living that soft life, but it's costing you everything and then some. But when you are wealthy, truly wealthy, you have savings, you have options. You can handle whatever life throws your way because you have that cushion. Everything is not going to unravel if something breaks down, if, a crisis happens. Hey, ladies, welcome to The Woman Behind the Wallet with Prea Epps, the podcast for ambitious women ready to stop managing money and start building wealth from the inside out. I'm your host, Prea Epps. Now, you worked hard for everything you have, and yet there's this quiet feeling that you're capable of so much more. You're right, and this show is for you. You ready? Let's go. Hey ladies, what if I told you that financial freedom was within reach? That you could actually get there? What would you say? Would you say, Priya, you tripping? Or, nah, that's not possible? When I mention the words financial freedom, what comes to mind? Is it a number in your bank account? Is it your salary? Is it a paid off house, a paid off car? Is it a certain lifestyle? I used to think that I knew the answer to that question. I thought financial freedom was a number. I thought it was a destination, right? I would hit a certain amount in my bank account and magically everything would feel different. The stress would lift. I would stop worrying. Life would just open up because I had that number in my bank account. But let me go ahead and burst your bubble. Financial freedom is not a number. It's actually a feeling. And today I want to talk to you about what it actually feels like and what having money and financial freedom unlocks. Because I think for most of us, we've been chasing the wrong thing. So let me start at the beginning, right? Let me go back to basics. What is money? What is money? Because I think a lot of us have a complicated relationship with money. And that complicated relationship comes from what we decided money actually means. Now, money is a tool. That's all it is. And like any other tool, its value depends entirely on how you use it and what you're building with it. So when I say money is a tool, I mean money on its own doesn't do anything, right? Money alone will not make you happy. You may think it will, but it won't. It doesn't make you whole. You may think it will, but it won't. Money is not going to heal whatever is broken, whatever is happening inside of you. And so we've covered a lot of that inside work in the past episodes. So if you haven't watched our prior episodes, I would suggest that you do that. That inner work has to come first. But when you've done that work and you dealt with the stories that you've been telling yourself all your life, money becomes one of the most powerful tools that you actually have. So what does money buy? And when I ask you that, you're probably thinking, oh, it's buying me a house, it's buying me a car, it's buying me those purses, that Chanel bag, that Dior, it's buying me that status, it's buying me that lifestyle. I'm in the upper echelon, right? But money doesn't buy that. It actually buys you options, it buys you time, and it buys you peace of mind. Now, when you think about options, you don't have to say yes to everything that comes your way. You have the option to say no if it doesn't align. And your no is not going to be the end all be all, right? So when you think about time, you are able to protect your energy. You're able to turn stuff down because it will be time consuming. You're able to build in rest because now you have that choice. So time is something that money gives you. When I think about peace of mind, this is the one that a lot of people gloss over. They totally forget that they are stressed, they're anxious when it comes to money, and having it reduces that stress, reduces that anxiety. It becomes very apparent when your car is making a strange noise and you think to yourself, I'll just go ahead and get that check versus let me turn this music up a little bit more and act like I don't hear that noise. I've been there. I know you all have been there too. So, peace of mind, it just changes how you move about in your daily life. And here's the thing about your relationship with money. It determines whether you ever actually get those three things, regardless of how much you earn. Because you could earn 50,000 and still have options, still have time, and still have peace of mind. Or on the flip side, if your relationship with money is trash, right? If it's rooted in scarcity or in a belief that you'll never have enough, you can earn 200, 250,000 and still feel broke. So your relationship with money absolutely determines whether it works for you or against you. And again, that relationship starts on the inside. Now, if you listen to me long enough, if you attended a conference, if you watched a webinar, if you listen to the prior episodes of this podcast, I preach holistic wealth. I am a big proponent of looking at your wealth holistically. It's the foundation of everything I teach. Now, when you hear the word holistic wealth, it's not your bank balance. It's not your net worth. It's not your credit score. Holistic wealth is when your financial health and your overall well-being are all growing at the same rate. It's all working together. It's when your money is no longer the first thing, or lack thereof, is no longer the first thing you think about when you wake up. And it's not the last thing that you think about before you go to bed. It's not keeping you up at night. Now, holistic wealth has four pieces to the puzzle. It's your financial piece, right? That's your income, that's your savings, that's your debt, like that's your numbers. But it's only 1/4 of the picture. Your emotional well-being, that's your relationship with money. And I like to say emotional or mental. It's your relationship. That's the beliefs you carry. That's the patterns you repeat. That's whether you have fear or whether you have peace when you think about your finances. And a lot of times we skip over the mental and emotional well-being entirely. We don't talk about that enough. And then the third piece is your spiritual well-being. Are you in alignment? Are you moving according to your values? Are you spending in ways that are intentional? Or are you just moving through life on autopilot? You're just not even thinking, you're just going, you're just doing. So when you think about your spiritual well-being, I want you to start thinking about what's happening beyond the numbers. You're building something beyond yourself. Okay. And then the last piece of the puzzle is your physical well-being. That's your energy, that's your health. And this becomes very apparent if you are suffering from burnout. Because when you're suffering from burnout, a lot of times that is a financial problem. You're overworking, you're overgiving, you're underinvesting in yourself. So you're not making good decisions and your finances are suffering because of it. You cannot build wealth from an empty tank. Now, how many of y'all think money will actually solve your problems if you have more? I know a lot of you do. I'm here to tell you that money will not solve your problems. Money will only amplify what's already there. So if you start making more money, yet your relationship is rooted in fear, is rooted in scarcity, that means when you make more fear, more scarcity is going to pop up, right? And I see that all the time with the women that I work with. They're earning six figures and they still feel stuck because they haven't addressed that root cause. So your income or your salary doesn't automatically equal wealth. And your income is what is coming in, right? Wealth is what you build, it's what you keep, it's what you grow over time. And there's a difference between looking wealthy and actually being wealthy. When you look wealthy, listen, you got the car, you taking the trips, you living that lavish lifestyle, right? You living that soft life, but it's costing you everything and then some. But when you are wealthy, truly wealthy, you have savings, you have options. You can handle whatever life throws your way because you have that cushion. Everything is not going to unravel if something breaks down, if, a crisis happens. So one of those is performance and the other one is freedom. So sis, which one are you? Now, I do want to tell you about what financial freedom actually unlocked in my life. And a big thing that it unlocked was travel, right? I've traveled solo. I've gone to Bali. I've gone to Aruba all by myself. I've traveled to Cancun and Costa Rica with the kids. I've traveled to Anguilla in Italy with my husband. I have booked the flights and said yes to experiences because I wanted to. That is freedom. The ability to just pick up and go because you want to. Now, that version of me just picking up and going and traveling, man, that was a long time coming. I grew from that person that was hiding her car so it wouldn't get repossessed. Okay. So financial freedom also unlocked options. And when I say options, it gave me the option to actually start this coaching business. It gave me space to get still and to think clearly and to build something on my own. It gave me space to look at my job situation back in late 2024 and realize that I was uncomfortable and I needed to figure out what was next. Now, that is not a small thing because most people stay in situations that don't serve them because they can't afford to leave. So having options means you get to choose what's serving you and what's no longer serving you. And financial freedom unlocked having a savings cushion. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what having a cushion means and what it does to you. It absolutely calms your nervous system. It will give you peace. And it's not just about having that number in the bank account, it's what that number actually represents. Having a cushion means that an unexpected expense is just an inconvenience. It's just an inconvenience. It's not a catastrophe. It's not a crisis. It's just is. It's something that needs to be handled. And that shift from crisis to inconvenience changes how you move about in your daily life. And having financial freedom actually unlocks peace of mind. And I'm talking about real peace, not play peace. So we're not playing with peace, the real one, where you are not telling yourself everything is okay while on the inside you holding your breath because you're waiting for something unexpected to happen, right? You get to focus on what you love to do, your children, and your purpose because your foundation is solid enough to actually hold you. So that's what money unlocked for me. It wasn't a particular lifestyle, although I do like my lifestyle, right? It was a feeling that came over me. Now, I want to ask you all, what would having financial freedom unlock for you specifically? Not for your sister, not for your friend, not for your parents, not for your children, but for you. I want you to go back to the dream exercise from episode 4, right? And again, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, I suggest you do. There were 3 questions that I asked you to journal on, right? And if you haven't done that, what are you waiting for? Like, these are nuggets that I am dropping here on this podcast. But I want you to get specific about what freedom looks like in your life. What would you change? What would you do differently? What would you say yes to? What would you say no to if money was not a deciding factor? Because you have to get clear in your mind what you're building towards, right? And you can't build towards something where you don't even see the full picture. And financial freedom is not one size fits all. It's going to look different for every woman. But it always starts with knowing what you are building towards. So I want to be clear, just because you have a certain number in your bank account, just because you have financial freedom, it does not mean problems are not going to happen. Baby, we are in the earthly world, okay? Things are going to arise. Obstacles are going to come up. Stuff will go wrong. Some months will be harder than others. Things are going to break. Life will surprise you in ways that you didn't plan for. All of that is going to happen. But when you have financial freedom, you have the wherewithal to handle it. It could just slide off your back versus knocking you down to the ground, right? And you kicking and screaming, okay? So the cushion, the options, the peace of mind that happens, that's the reframe. That's how I want you to start thinking about financial freedom. I want you to start chasing a feeling, start building that feeling, because that's what having money unlocks, and you deserve every bit of it. So knowing what it feels like and actually building the foundation to get there is something totally different. And that's the work we do in coaching. So we don't just talk about what's possible. We build a plan that makes it real. So we're looking at what your goals, your savings goals, your life goals, the options that you want, the peace of mind that you're seeking, step by step, week by week. And you'll have someone in your corner who can see the full picture. So if today's episode helped you see your financial life differently, that is just the beginning. So book your breakthrough session today. The link is in the show notes. You deserve the feeling of financial freedom. Let's build it. That's a wrap. Thanks for checking into The Woman Behind the Wallet with Prea Epps. If this message hit home, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, leave a review. It'll help more women find the show. And remember, when she changes, everything changes. The woman behind the wallet is waiting. Go meet her. I'm Prea Epps, and I'll see you next episode.